Ton.
It's not even long. I mean, let's go. Hey, I don't drop it. Let me tell you about that. We don't have to check for this much.
That time. Okay, right there. I will it.
So 6 of them. 7. 7. I don't like the phone.
It's one number. Keep by the song. Because I drama you're singing, you're singing. Small for you to see me. Keep by the 80.
How many times? Mom, can you time?
Yeah, one. Yeah, one.
Hello? What color? I don't is small chop. Small chop, small chop. Mempa. 6. This top. Okay. Hello, near a surprise. Hello, Shelley. Only 500 meters. Hello?
want to manage anything. Ah, okay.
How much is it?
Hello, mo sọ pé ní 500, only 500 naira ní sẹ́yìn fún 800. Ẹ wò ó, kò tẹ̀ sí. So, only 500. Wọ́n mọ èmi náà mú ọ̀bẹ. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ 50 naira lé. Ẹ wò kò ń ṣe ojú èmi náà. Máa pèsè fún àmì mi ní mo rà lámùmọ̀ bí ẹ máa rántí ẹ lónìí. Ó yá pípé yín padà bí. Mo pé ìwà yẹn ó máa pe òun kọ́ ló máa ṣe ó máa pa àwọn tó máa ṣe torí ẹ̀ àwọn kan máa ti fẹ́ ṣé ó mú mọ̀ orí ó máa ń yọ níbi tó ìmọ̀ wọ́n kọ́ lè pọ̀ wọ́n kó ní kọ́ ṣe mọ́ ọjà fún wọn fún wọn lórí ẹ̀ tó máa ṣe láti mo lè lọ sí gbogbo ẹ̀.
With this tip, she then goes on to deliver a classic from the boy band West. Flying without wings, she soars into the mountains. Congratulations, Esther. You are first acrobations and first quest of the day 6 Jeremiah. Jeremiah is
Ó lè pè pẹ̀lú àwọn number.
having to do it. So I don't know what really I like. At the end of the 90s, expertly on resuming guilty orders. Look at congratulations, expert, you are through to the live show. If I say what made me really distracted, I'm just saying because what's Chris. I had a lot of issues when it came to the choreography and all, having to smile. I remember during the rehearsals, my coach was expecting that to perform a bit more smile. Things I'm not used to. I'm really grateful to him for sharing a good thing that we can do in this country. Nigeria, championed by Babaji.
There's much of. Okay, I don't know.
Hello? No, oh, yes,
One, sign up. Two, new job. Two, search for favorite features. Three, buy at the lowest price possible. Four, monitor the chart as the price only as well. Five, select the best price. Six, cash out instant. Start trading now at Uni.com.
Not this. Not also, I speak by my German also. Actually, I have an app. It's easy to remember. What are the odds guy? And he's like 1K, someone else 240K. What spirit tells us? Okay.
SMS removes notification option. If man is available for web, iOS.
Strategy for building my team is diverse. And this confidence that you have to let the world see. My focus is showcasing their strength every time they have a question, they are not sure, and I'm here to tell them. Ready to take the lead in what works in life with equal overlap and and expect delivered of soul performance of love on the brain by reality. Active mind. I'm going to take the next one.
Don't let this performance take away from the fact that I create talent.
And I'm not saying anything, but I don't appreciate it. I wait for people out here to be about In your ruler, a 21-year-old student of psychology from the University of Newcastle was coached by Jack who tries to keep their emotions.
That's my Irish food. She's the best person to butcher that. Are we gonna hug?
And nobody, you will sound like the lady. In your lower should be reality, once performing, fly on the mountain by Asha. I came down to jump in Oluwa and coach was just said in Oluwa and said In the line that will watch all the coaches while he's beautiful. For a chat.
Namato.
Coach Barry talks that for a thing or two about showmanship.
Well done to my guys.
Either the field coaches make his voice and flower Coach Gary plays his game in the danger zone, living often. Have two coaches who are still you. As his new fountain that was paired with makeup artist.
Song that I chose for is already the Beyonce Awards.
And the question was, I guess, already, yeah, I think this is very reserved, it's quite.
Example did not fail to find us who is king as he wins the battle, securing his place in the match.
That was person. Therefore,
The Voice Nigeria, connected by Airtel.
please, guys, check it out now. No fees. No. Also, I speak by my German also. Listen. Why you have to hear the phone of if your phone is stop for if your phone before you go, if you don't take the mic. So what like us around the day by the side of the bed. So that she I'm serious your brother is baby. I'm not going to before you. So what you have to hear your phone of my brother is coming to my phone. But you have to hear the phone of my phone. It's not of
So this is a wonderful one, and I'm happy for Shiva. I'm happy for Shiva. We have a wonderfully filled show. The audience is massively, the support is great, and it's beautiful.
Is because the trauma of 2013 is still affecting me till now. I will never forget when we win Nations Cup that year. I know even got this journalist sometimes. I don't know. Passport there. So many people back home with the baby. Instead of the get to listen again, power rich. And she go the mic again. So what is this place now for the development of soccer in Nigeria?
Okay, so this is the Ignition Master Series 4. Yeah, Series 4. So I'll be sharing the screen right now for you to see. So for those that are not privileged to be here right now, you would get it on YouTube. All right, so let's move straight to business. So you can see the screen clearly, right? So you can see it clearly. So you can see here, this is the Ignition Book Potential Utilization Effective Planning Masterclass series, right? So the first slide here is showing the different chapters in the book. So basically, the book has 21 chapters with 8 bonus chapters. All right, so that's basically what we have in the book. And they basically talk about those things you need that can spark you up for success. Let me open something for you here about what ignition means. So when they say something ignites, right, there is a meaning to that. So you can see here the action of setting something on fire or starting to burn, right? So something being set on fire. Let me check this other one. So you would see another definition of what ignition is talking about. All right. So here again, you have the action of setting something on fire or starting to burn 3 minutes after You get, so setting something to the state of taking action, to the state of starting to do something. So basically that's what ignition simply talks about, as simple as that. Then if I move away from this slide, you have the slide here now. So I've shown you some things just to know exactly what ignition is talking about, right? So moving over to this slide, you can see this is just showing the front page of the book. I'll move to the next slide. So here it's saying that let's commence this masterclass from the introduction of the ignition ebook. So here it says if there's a word people value so much, it's success. So we all know that people want to be successful. So many people want to attain success, but if it's about the words, it would have been much more easier to get it. But words carry no weight without backing it up, with action, rather. I said backing it up, without backing it up with action. So if you don't back those words up with action, it holds no weight at all. It holds no weight at all. So backing it up with action means you are walking the talk. So you walking the talk means that you are translating from the word, the talking zone to the doing zone, right? So just like some people would say the words, they will say talk and do. So you are not just saying this thing now, right? Something is being said and something is being done, right? So talk, then getting it done, right? So those are two things specifically. So getting it done is actually very, very, very important, which is what this particular slide is emphasizing on. And it doesn't matter how long you've walked along the wrong path, how long you've not you be well focused on what you should do. What matters is that you should know that better late than never. So you can always start anytime. You can always start. It can always pick up. That's just the whole point. Like it can always pick up. So it doesn't matter that, oh, how I wish 7 years back, 5 years back, 8 years back, I should have done it this way, I should have done it that way. That doesn't matter. What matters is that there is something that can still be done, right? So far there is life, there is hope, and that action can still be taken, even though some years have been wasted in the process of you not being decisive enough, right? Which translates to what we are still talking about here, which is the effective decision making, right? So it's very, very important that you begin to take action now. Procrastination is a success killer. Procrastination is a dream killer, right? So it's very, very important that you begin to take reasonable action. And that is exactly what that part is saying, as simple as that, right? So moving to the next one here, so that I'll just do it fast. So here is what someone read from the ignition ebook. And from here, you can see, so I mean, it was just a fateful day on the certain morning. I just felt like, oh, let me even ask this person what he learned. So I was like, okay, can you just tell me anything you've learned from the book so far, so good? You can see that blue tick showing on the screen. My cursor is exactly on that blue tick. So I was now asking the person, okay, tell me what you've learned. And he said, chapter 1 talks about potentials and multitasking and how it is possible for one to achieve it with ease. It is just smart work and dedication with ultimate focus and dedication, right? So you can see the dedication 2 times, right? So that actually shows the fact that dedication is very, very important in whatsoever pursuit that you are really aiming at, right? So you have got to set your mind at it, right? So you set your mind at it. As you know, potential talks about the innate ability in you, right? What sets you apart from the other person in the world, right? Your potential describes your USP, that's your unique selling point, and it describes your USA, which is your unique skills and ability. So all these things actually talks about what your potentials is about, as simple as that, right? And like I would like to say, this world, we have over 7 billion people, right? So you understand that potential actually sets you apart. It brings you out, right? The last slide of this my presentation, you will see what I'm saying about how potential actually sets you apart, how it actually brings you out, right? So you would see it in the last slide. So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag now. So you will see it in the last slide. But the major thing is that you have got to work smart, right? So it's not just about working hard, right? Like for someone that is doing something that is not in line with his potential, is not in line with what he really knows that he's meant to be doing, I term it a useless hard work, or you say nonsense hard work. Somebody might be hardworking in what is not his calling, right? So that kind of thing should bring you to the point of the fact that you have got to be smart, right? So being smart means that you know what exactly to focus on, and you direct and you channel your energy on that specific thing. So what any other thing off from it, right? You don't channel your energy on irrelevant things, right? And that is not dependent on what others expect from you, right? Last is your life. So just you become this, you become that. No, you need to really understand yourself firmly. You need to understand what you carry, like the kind of potentials in you. You need to properly understand it. It's very, very, very sacrosanct. All right. So that's why I really love what you said. And the second thing, though, we are not emphasizing on the chapter 2 part, but I just want to pick one line from it. The second thing he said there is that my favorite line, what makes successful people successful is that these people were consistent with their steps. All right. So consistency is very key, all right, in this journey of potential maximization, as we always say. So you don't just get easily frustrated, you don't get easily disturbed, right? Even though the result does not come as expected at a particular time, you keep on grinding, you keep on moving, you keep on putting more action, right? Like there is this quote that says, most people fail at the point when they were actually close to getting to the finish line. I'm kind of paraphrasing the quote itself, but like it's just like those that are running like 100 meters on a track field, and then someone is running and is at the front. He has got the other co-runners, but he got distracted and they almost at the finish line, but he slowed down, and those other runners at his back would just easily overtake him, right? So that's the simple analysis for you to see, right? So you don't slow down, you don't give chance for mediocrity, right? You set your mind at extraordinary, right? Extraordinary, because it is the extraordinary thing that will set you in a unique form, that will set you really apart, right? So moving to the next slide, no time to check time. So here is a simple flow chart to show how to actually work along with planning, which will help in your decision making, obviously, right? So the first thing here, you can see the cursor here. The first thing here is that you must identify your needs and set objectives. So which definitely relates to what I said, right? Set objective, identify your potential, know what you carry, because you can't plan, you can't decide on an empty ground, right? You get what I mean? So you need to decide on something, right? You need to decide based on what you know, based on what you already have a knowledge of that you carry. That's what you begin to make your planning on. So the first thing is that you must actually identify this thing, followed by identifying the resources, like what would assist you, what will aid you to build on your potential. It could be getting yourself upskilled in a particular skill. It could be getting to meet a coach or a tutor or a teacher that would teach you on some things. It could be getting some online courses, right? Like you get some online courses. We have online sites like Coursera. That's one I can really remember now. There are millions of courses there. And you can also look at diverse online sites. If it's video-based tutorials, obviously, you know the largest we have, YouTube. There are a lot of stuff that you can gain from it. So, and other examples. Those are resources, those are channels that can actually help you. Moving on, we talk about setting timeline, right? Setting timeline means that there is a time towards it. If you don't set timeline, you would think there's an abundance of time, right? There is no unlimited time in this world. We are all accessible to 24 hours in a day, which is 1,440 minutes, which is 86,400 seconds in a day. So there is no, you get us 30 hours. That's why he's the third richest person now, or Elon Musk, second richest person. He has 26 hours. Why the richest person, Amazon founder, that one has 40 hours? No. So we are all accessible to the same time. And until you get that fact, you really understand that you need to set timeline. It is a very good basis of measuring your progress with regards to planning. So planning, progress, result, right? Let me look at it like that PPR. So a way to actually measure your progress, result with regards to planning, setting timeline, then develop strategy. I would combine these three together. Develop strategy, determine the alternatives, evaluate the alternatives. There are several things that will pop up in your mind, but you need to start up with something, right? Which leads me to this fourth one that I would combine with the three I said earlier, right? Select the right alternative, right? So you select the best one for you. Then you start to implement. So implementation is very important. Don't just make the plan. Planning is useless without, implementing, without taking action. In fact, it is as useless as the letter P in psychology. Simple. So you have got to always ensure that you plan and you implement. So you implement, which means that if you list 20 things in your plan book, maybe you have a plan book that you write it, or an online notepad, whatsoever means that you write it out, you must start to implement. Even if it's one, you start to carry out. Even if it's two, you've made thousands, millions, billions of progress than someone who has thousands of plans in his book and has not done one, right? Then you do a follow-up feedback, right? Which is the last and very essential thing here. You do follow-up. After you must have started taking action, ask people, how are you doing? How can you improve? Constant learning is the food of genius. Constant learning is the food of genius. So you keep on learning. You understand that you can't know it all. No human being is a forest, right? So you keep on learning. Simple. So moving on. Yeah, we have plan is needed for an effective use of your potential. So it's just similar to what I said. You have got to really plan. This is similar to what that guy actually responded to me. Okay, someone just joined again. Okay, so let me be sure he's hearing me. Twins, are you hearing me? Twins, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you hearing me? Okay, whatsoever, let me just move on. So planning is needed for an effective use of. Please, if you can hear me, just type it in the chat box. I will see it. Type it in the chat box if you can hear me. You should be hearing me very clearly. So you can type it in the chat box if you can hear me. So planning is needed for an effective use of your potential. It's very, very okay. Let me check the chat box. Good. So you can hear me. So I would move on. Actually, I've talked about some things, but let me just move on, right? So we might still do a kind of quick recap of everything. So I said that planning is needed for an effective use of your potentials and be resolved to make a difference with it. So I was emphasizing on this flow chart. That's the fourth slide. I talk about identify your needs and set objectives. It means that you would identify the kind of potential you have. Potential definitely is what stands you out, is what makes you unique. There are a lot of people in this world. So your potential is what defines your uniqueness, right? It's what really defines your uniqueness. It stands you out very, very well. I'm coming. Okay. I wanted to confirm something. All right. Okay, yeah. So your potential is what stands you out. You need to identify it first of all, which is the part of identifying needs and set objectives. There you identify the resources. What are those things that will aid you to get it? It could be trying to upskill yourself in terms of online tutorials, right? You could have some online courses you need to do, some physical based courses. You could have some video resources you could learn from, like YouTube is a very good example. There are millions of videos you could learn from. I have a designer friend of mine. This guy, there was something he told me one day that actually shocked me. He's the one that designs most of my music graphics. So he designed most of my musical graphics. I don't used to stress myself with design. I'll just call you, yeah, design graphics for me. But you won't believe that this guy is actually very good. You would see his graphics very high quality, right? But this guy learned most of what he knows in designing from YouTube. When he told me, I was like, wow, you know, some people feel that it takes too long of a process. He learned it from YouTube, but he was actually dedicated to that course, which is very, very important. So those are resources. It could be online-based sites like Coursera or any other. I know Coursera, I know Teacherly. There is Coursera, there is Teacherly. Yes, I know those two very well. There are millions of resources. In fact, you yourself can even create courses and upload it on these things. And once people came into it, you make income from it, right? So these are things that can actually help. Then we talk about setting timeline. So setting timeline brings you to the knowledge of you don't have luxury of time in life. Everybody all have 24 hours in a day, right? So before you came in, I was saying something to those that care to hear that. Bill Gates, the third richest man now, he doesn't have 26 hours in a day. Elon Musk, the second richest man now, he doesn't have 28 hours in a day. Jeff Bezos, the richest person in the world, Amazon founder, he doesn't have 30 hours in a day. We all have the same number of hours. And that brings to the fact that you need to plan your number of hours very, very well. I was telling those that were in the series theory last week, I was telling them, I don't think you really met it very well. I was telling them in the series theory last week that when you even try to do a synchronized of what I'm trying to say, in a day, you have 24 good hours, right? So when you take away the time for sleep, right? So averagely, when you sleep within 7 to 8 hours, right? So what remains is about 16 hours. So you have 16 hours left. By the time you try to take away, maybe let me just approximate 2 hours for leisure, right? Maybe you just want to relax. So 2 hours, what remains is 14 hours. So like you have like on the average about 14 active hours. Although some people work even longer than that. Some work up to 18 hours, 17 hours. But the point is those active hours you have is what I'm talking about under the setting timeline. How do you effectively maximize it? Time is very, very funny because, you know, I used to look at some people, you just hear some people will say, the year is fast too. Before we know, when did we start the year? We are in December. We are shouting New Year. 2 years. 3 years, 4 years. 5 years, 6 years. This, you know, and you just begin to look like, wow, it is crazy. For me, birthday is one of those days that make you understand that you need to always set timeline, because the moment you celebrate another birthday, you get to realize that a year has been added to your age, right? So, and that connects you to the picture of within your last birthday and the recent birthday that you are celebrating, what have been achieved. That begins to put that picture in your head very well, that within your last birthday and the most recent birthday, what has been achieved. So that's why you need to ensure that you set appropriate timeline. So when you set plans, right, you could list them out. It could, let's say it is itemized as 30 things in the plan, right? Mind you, if you need a planning sheet or something, maybe you could put it in the chat box, or we can talk on that later on. There's a way we can always sort that. But it's good to always plan very, very well. It's very, very effective to plan, and you set time to it. That would make sure that you get it done as early as possible and as fast as possible. As some lazy social media chatters would say, in quotes, they will say ASAP. You know, when you say ASAP, it means as soon as possible, right? So you get it done as soon as possible, as fast as you can. Then you develop strategy. What ways can you use? What ways can you actually use, right? Then I'll combine this developing strategy with determining alternatives. Determine the alternative, evaluate the alternatives, selection of right alternative, implementation of alternatives, and feedback or follow-up action. So it is very, very important and very, very key that you select the right alternative. By the time you want to identify your needs or which potentials that you really want to work with, several things will come to your mind. Oh, I can do this one. I can do that one. I can do this one. I can do that one. I can do this one. I can do that one. I can do this one. And you just be like, is it everything you want to do? You have to start from a particular point. There is this famous painter. I'm trying to recall his name. He's a famous painter. Very, very popular. Oh, yeah, I'll still remember along the course. But this guy is one of the best painter of all times, right? But as funny as it is, he was good in several fields. He was good in several fields, not just that artist, not just painting. He was good in several fields, but he ensured that he developed himself very well in that artistic field. So you pick something first that you work with, then it begins to go, then it begins to move on like that, right? Simple. Then feedback. No, before the feedback, you have implementation of alternatives. So you must implement. Planning is very bad without taking the necessary action. So you must take the required action that you need, right? Like I love saying, and I'll keep on saying, if you don't take action, then that planning is as useless as letter P in psychology. Simple. I love saying it and I'll keep on saying it. It's very useless. So you have got to take action, right? It's very important. If you list out 100 plans and you don't take action, somebody that listed out just 5 and took action on 2 is far better than somebody that listed 100 plans and didn't do anything. Because that plan is not what will change the reward. It's not what will impact the world. What will impact the world is what the world can see that you do, right? It's not what you've written down that you will do. What I will do is different from what I have done. They say, oh, I intend to do this. I wish to do this. I think I can do this. No, I have done this. That's more clearer. It means that you've moved from the space of planning to taking action. I have done this, right? So it's very important that you take action. Don't allow mediocrity. Don't take mediocrity as an option. It's definitely not an option in what we are talking about, maximizing your potential. Strive to be extraordinary. In a chapter in that page, I think the second to the last chapter of the book, that's Ignition book, I talk about crushing mediocrity and embracing extraordinary life. So anything that makes you to be mediocre, you always want to just resolve it. Let me just do it. Oh, I'll just try my best. Yeah. Oh, if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, fine. Oh, I can't come and kill myself. Yeah. What happened, self? Last, life is vanity. Oh, waiting we carry come, where we go carry go. I know if you can't stress myself. You know, people would always say several things like that. And you ask yourself, when you say that life is vanity, doesn't mean the fact that you are in this life, you should not do anything, right? You should just bench yourself down on that mediocre life. Like you should just bench yourself that it's mediocrity that should be your friend. No. So you have got to embrace the extraordinary things. And that's where the aspect of implementation comes in. Take action. Even if it's one that you started implementing from 1,000 of plans, from millions of plans, right? It's better. is better, right? So this plan I'm talking about is synonymous with goals, like your personal goals, what you aim to do. It's synonymous with it. So they work per so. Plan goals, plan goals, plan goals. Then another thing here is feedback or follow-up action. Feedback. So once you have started taking action, ask from people, right? Because by the time you start implementing some of these things, you are directing your mind on some specific group of people, like your target audience. So you direct your mind on some specific group of people. And those group of people that you direct your mind on, they see what you are doing. And don't belittle what they can actually advise you. Don't belittle what they feel about what you are doing. Don't belittle the kind of recommendations that can be given. That's the point that I'm trying to say. So you don't have to belittle it, all right? So you don't belittle the recommendations that they give. You ensure that you get it done. You get it done, then you ask from them, which is the feedback or follow-up action, right? So follow up, ask from them, not just asking. You can see the word follow-up action, right? Follow-up action. So you ask, then you act. Obviously, not everything they say will be right now. So that's where smart work comes in. You pick the one that you know that it is implementable and can be good for me from what you heard from the feedback. You pick the one that can be good for you, definitely. So moving to the next one here is still a continuation of that. So I want to move fast so we can just be fast with what we are doing. Here it says that planning is needed for an effective use of your potential. Continuation of that and being resolved to make a difference with it. So here you can see what makes successful people successes is that these people were consistent with their steps. They didn't just do it and stop. So this is similar to what I started this with. So consistency, you have got to keep repeating it, keep doing it, keep grinding. Obviously, discouragement would come, several things would come, but you have got to keep grinding, you have got to keep moving. That's what we are trying to say. So moving to the next one, you have, I'm coming. Moving to the next one. So here, before that, you have Miles Munroe said, the grave is the richest place. So that's why you have got to actually maximize your potential very well, because once you get to the graveyard, you have a lot of potentials that were never used, right? So it just ended up there, and it became useless to what could have been an impact to the world, to what could have solved world problems, right? It could be just one keyword problem that potential could have solved, right? So that's why it is important. Moving quickly, the sixth one here, you have action is very sacrosanct in utilizing your potential. So you definitely need to take action. You definitely need to act on it. So you don't just be at the luxury of I'll just do it anyhow. You definitely need to take reasonable action, right? You act on it. And it's similar to what I said. When you check Newton's law of motion, it says to every action, there are equal and opposite reaction. So you have got to take the well-needed and necessary action. It's very, 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 very important. What do you invest? What do you take into your life? And what are the practical things that you do? Okay. Okay, can you hear me? This other one safe. It's not even hear me. Can you hear me? You can put it in the.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me just continue. Good. So we'll soon be through now. In a few minutes, I'll be done. Right. So action is very sacrosanct in utilizing your potential. What I said initially was that, the graveyard is the richest place. It's very, very rich because there are a lot of unused potential. There are a lot of unsung songs, right? Miles Munroe, you can see his quote here, where my cursor is. Miles Munroy said that the grave is the richest place. Miles Munroy said the grave is the richest place. So there are a lot of things that could have benefited the world, that could have changed one of the world's problems. Okay, something just popped up in my head now. Like 2020, we had this COVID-19 pandemic in the world. And you would look at the fact that, imagine that there was somebody that could have been a solution to that problem very fast. But what if that person had died? What if something happened and that person, or something had just happened, but how would we have known, right? But it could have been a big solution to the world problem, that instead of the world to be on lockdown for like 6-7 months, maybe within 1 or 2 months, something could have come out. They could fast track the whole way they test the vaccine, how effective the vaccine would be for people and everything. And it could have been a faster solution. So that's why you have need to take action, which leads to this slide. Take action. It's very important in utilizing your potential. As Newton's third law of motion said, to every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So it's very, very important. It's very sacrosanct that you take action. So action you put determines the reaction you get. Like some people will be saying, this life no balance, so treats me well. See as this one she just they drive Bentley, he just they drive Range Rover, he just they drive Porsche. See me, I just did like this. So you have got to ensure that you take action, which will give what that necessary reaction. It's very important. Moving on to this, so that we don't waste time. Here you have that your potential keeps you on your feet every minute of the day. It's very important. Your potential keeps you on your feet, in quotes, every minute of the day. Let me take some of these quotes I have here, right? This quote right here says, the secret of life is to have a task, something that you devote your entire life to, something you bring everything to every minute of the day for the rest of your life. And the most important thing is that it must be something you cannot possibly do by and remove. So you devote yourself to something, but that thing you devote yourself to comes in the place of your potential. What is inside of you, those unique abilities in you, right? So another quote I want to take here is that this quote too here, it says that if you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. This quote is by Tony Gaskins. This quote two and here, I don't want to emphasize on it right now. I won't talk about it. But this quote here says, if you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help build theirs, by Tony Gaskins. Simple. And what simple illustration can I give? There are people that are doing job that they are not fulfilled. They are frustrated because it's not really what their potential is, but they are just doing it because they don't have choice. Why some are getting paid for what they love to do. Footballer will play football. He loves to play football and it's getting like 80,000 euros as weekly wages. An entertainer, somebody that is a comedian, actor, singer, and all that, they love this thing and they are still getting paid, right? Somebody that loves to speak, so it doesn't just channel the speaking into ameboism, in quotes. I just coined that word, ameboism, right? But it channels it to organizing conferences, getting himself upskilled with speaking certifications, and he can get something from it, right? So he loves doing it and they will still get him paid for it. But if you don't get that done at an early part of your life, as time goes on, that person will be forced to do what he doesn't want to do. Why? Because of survival. He has got to survive. Because you are looking for what you eat for your daily bread. And under the point of looking for daily bread, that person would be forced, that person will be conditioned to say, anything goes, anything I see now, I'm just going to do it. I don't have a choice. That person would have no choice, because when he has choice, he misuses that power. As human beings, we have the power of choice, but at a point, it would be so pressing on you that your choice will seem useless, because you will just do it so as to survive. That's what this point is. So when we are saying all these things now, take very keen note of it and get it done. Simple. Then the last slide, so that you can round up. Let's let's round up this master class. So what I was trying to tell you initially then is that you can see these people here. Here you can have like, you have like 9 people here. So my cursor here is touching the first person, this second person, third person. The fourth person is the different person there, is in red apparel. Then you have the 5th person, the 6th person, 7th person, 8th person, and 9th person. That 9th person is not really showing very well, like half sight. So, but I want to emphasize on the 4th person, right? When you look at that image, that red person, what do you notice about the red person? If I may ask you, what do you notice about the person in red apparel? What do you notice? I'm asking you, or anyone that can answer. What do you notice about the person in red apparel? Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Nevertheless, I'll just round up so we can end this thing. But one thing is that the person in red apparel is unique in terms of that the person has not forgotten himself in the crowd, right? So the person stand out. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so before you round up in the next 5 minutes or so, I'm looking at this image now. Can you tell me what is unique about this image? You are seeing some people in white apparel, some in red. What is unique there? Like, what can you say if you just see it? What can you say about it?
A different person, like some of the different mindsets.
Yes.
Everybody having some kind of vision, but of belief. Like, how will I put it? Okay, everybody is meant, like everybody on the line with a vision. Everybody in line with a vision.
Yes.
This is what we are going to achieve at the end of this class. But another person, yeah, is different. I'm just seeing difference. Let me say difference.
Exactly.
I'm seeing difference.
That's the word. Finish. It doesn't need too much explanation. Difference. That person has a difference from the other people in that row. And that means that person is heading towards being extraordinary, not just doing it according to the norms, not just falling into the crowd, not just because someone is doing it and you just leave yourself like that. Like they will say, like some people will say, if you can't beat them, then you just have to join them. You know, that kind of thing. If you can't beat them, then you join them. So, but this person in red is saying, no, if I can't beat them, I can be unique. And he also is standing with his own belief and is not like the other people there. Then lastly, before you ask any question or make any comment so that we can round up, the question of when, where, now, and how is very important. Like, when do I do it? When do I start making use of my potential? Now. The answer to that one is straightforward. Start doing it now. Procrastination is the dream killer. Procrastination is the success killer. So you start to do it now. Where? Know where you have to start from. You have to start from where you are. With any little thing that you can start with it. It doesn't have to be necessarily big, right? Any little thing that you do can create an impact, can do something. So start from little, then it transcends to the bigger things. Womb, like, what would help you? Womb. There are some certain individual, which is similar to what we discussed here. I just want to show you here. Resources. Identify the resources, right? So it's very important. Then how? In what way can you do it, right? Then now, which is very important. So with that, you can effectively plan your potential and actually maximize it well, which would mean that you've made a good decision to making use of your potentials very, very well. So let me get your question and contribution or any other thing before we round up. Your network is breaking. You know. Can you speak? I'm hearing you. Your network is breaking.
Please, sorry.
Your network is breaking. You know. I can't hear you very well. Speak again.
Yes.
Let me stop this share. Let me stop the share since we
You
are.
should come again, please. My network, I can't hear you properly.
Okay, okay. Are you hearing me now?
I need Wi-Fi. Hello, what did you say? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we'll be done now. I don't want to waste time. Yeah. So
You
what
hear me too?
are you hearing me? I'm hearing you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm saying that.
I said you should come again. What did you just ask me?
Okay, what I asked is that any question or any contribution, or anything you want to say before we round up.
Okay, like what I actually wanted to say is about the book. Actually, the book is actually nice and it's very, very okay. So my own is, how are we going to reach 1,000 persons with this book to let them know, like as a source of inspiration, that someone like you designed this book. This is his own belief on how to make success. Because if you go to the library, if you go to the bookshop, you see like 1,000 books on success, on prosperity, but these are different people coming together and what they believe about a particular topic. So my own is that I've gone through the Ignition book, though I've not gone through it properly. I just proofread, and there's something that got my attention, that how come you just had to bring all these ideas together in a book? You understand? This is not just, this is mind blowing, and this is mind blowing, and this, to me, I feel is a billionaire project to those that believe it will work for them and those that applied it. You can't tell me Bishop Oedipo wrote about success button and everybody that bought that book and read it, it worked for them. No, we understand. It only worked for those that believe. So, like, I remember you were telling me, okay, fine, ask people to eat, you understand? Ask people to eat. So, my own suggestion is, can't you do a physical campaign? Go to schools, let them understand. Just like, for examples, like try to make, because the truth is that I'm a very busy person. I don't like to. That's why sometimes.
Your voice is cracking. Oh, your voice is cracking. What's happening with the network? It's enough. See if you can join. I need to run this thing. It's saying something. Oh.
Hello?
I'm hearing you.
So, it's nice actually, but I've not gone through the books I've not settled down to read it like word for word, to start jotting and start bringing out. So my own point is, I was able to talk to somebody about the book and he said it's nice, but how do we get, you understand? How do we get to increase their intrinsic motivation? How do we get to increase their intrinsic motivation about the book? You understand? Because you have to have some kind of intrinsic motivation. You have to have some inner motivation to say, okay, fine, let me give it a try. Because what I'm thinking right now is, this online class may not really be a solution. Why not hold a WhatsApp class? People can
Okay.
join from there. You start doing ask questions. Start from what are your difficulties? What are your challenges in achieving this? What are your challenges in achieving this? What are your challenges? You can meet people in different school and you understand what are your challenges in having this. Then once they bring out your challenges, then we can come up to say, okay, fine. I want to introduce you to something. Go read it. Then we'll come back for a review. How about that?
That is very, very, absolutely nice. That's very nice. That's a very nice one. So it's very nice. It's very nice. What I would just say is that, like the first thing that you said, you talked about there are thousands of something like this, right? But I would say that one thing about me is that if I will write or do anything, I love talking from the practical point of view, and that's the way that book is structured, like giving real life point of view, not just stating theory and all that. Well, and with regards to this, this is series 4. In some series, you will see that 4 people join, 5, 6, but the attendance on this is actually quite poor anyway. At least I anticipated something like 100, at least 100. They will just pick up from there. So I agree with what you said, that other means have to be looked at. Like you said that you have some things on your hand which you are doing. Also me too, right? So that's why I've not really been able to tap on other means of how to do it. But looking forward, definitely, I would also engage with you. We'll talk very well on WhatsApp and any other social media we can talk, so that we can strategize, because I've been talking with some other people too that have actually had access to the book, so we can look for strategies that can be used. What you said is right? So if people should talk about their problem, it will be like a problem-based approach. You talk your problem, I give you solution which you can find from the book. So that will make you to value the book. If any problem you have, right, can be related to some things you can learn from the book. So it would be more valuable than just giving you the book without knowing which problem it can solve. But if there is a problem you want solved, and I can recommend a part of the book for you to go and read, and it can help you in solving the problem, that would make people to be more willing to get it. And on the point you said that I loaded a lot of things, very right. In fact, when I was going through the book, and some people that helped me to review the book, they were like, this is really nice. But for me, I felt like this life, there are a lot of things to tap from. That book actually explains so many concepts in the most simplest form. I must confess, so many concepts in the most simplest form. It got to a point that if something happened to me, or I someone facing something, I can relate it to one chapter or one part of the book. So that's how rich it is. But I felt that at least for a point, to make it easily accessible to people, that's why it was actually discounted. But I will tell you that there are some people that when you tell them come and get this book, they would never get it. And I'm okay with it, because not everybody believes in reading books, because there are some books that would promise you A and you'll be getting B. So it is normal. So you tell them come and get it, you message them. Even if you said it 500 naira, 5 naira, 5 naira, those that will not buy will not buy. So we are focusing on those that are ready, right? So I really appreciate it. Okay, you want to say something?
No. I'm trying to concur to what you are saying.
Okay. So basically, we would look at other approach. It seems that this particular approach is not really too that effective. That's why it's not something that is done measured. You can see that it only happens for this particular one. It only happens 2 times in a month. Hope you notice.
Yes.
Yeah. So just
like I noticed even.
Yes. So
I
like this.
Even as it stands, it's just me and you on this meeting. I was even thinking maybe I'll meet a lot of people, then I'll come to apologize.
No, you joined last week now. You met people now.
Yeah.
You met people last week, right?
Yeah.
So it's usually
Yes,
fluctuating like you met people last week now. Before you joined, I was almost done. People joined in very early last week. So sometimes it used to fluctuate like that, where you will start, sometimes people will join early, people will not join, blah, 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 different schedule, this and that, right? So I understand. So, but the thing is that you will try to always modify this thing. 2 times in a month for something like this is definitely not too much. In a month, we have 30 days. So just 2 times in a month is not too much for this. But my own point is that we need to look at other means that this thing can be stretched out so that many people can benefit from this, because the joy of it is if many people can actually benefit from this. That would be the joy. And I really appreciate your comments. Any other thing you want to say before we round up? We'll talk via WhatsApp so that we can
No, I'm okay.
Okay, so thank you.
I'm okay.
Yeah, thank you for joining. To those that couldn't join, and before I log off, before I round up, I'll round up now. I want to say that I have YouTube pages also. So like,
okay,
this meeting is recorded. It's recorded. All the Zoom meeting,
good.
All the Zoom meeting I have is recorded. So once I'm done with this meeting, it's saved on my device. So, and I upload it on my YouTube page. So you can still watch it and rewatch. Since the series 1 that I've been doing, everything is recorded. So you can watch, you can rewatch, you can watch, you can rewatch. So in a way, you know, that's also another means for people to access it. Okay, find the time to just watch some things in that YouTube video. It's on YouTube. Go and watch what we used to do. So if they can
you send me the link?
Of course, I'll send it to you.
YouTube name so that I'll find you.
Yes, I'll send it to you so that you can subscribe to it. I'll send it to you so that you can subscribe to the page and you'd also have access to the video. Of course, I'll send it to you. So I just want to use that to round up so that you would know that whatsoever we are saying, even if we are 7 here, 10, it doesn't still end here. It's stretch. It's stretch. Like,
yes,
you can still hear it because it is recorded. It will be on YouTube. So anybody can still access it any day, anytime. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So thank you very much for joining in. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So
thank you. God bless you. I really enjoyed it.
Amen. So we will be discussing on it further. And maybe I will try to, people of like mind like this, I would try to add us to a group so that we can really strategize on it very well. Right? So I hope and I believe that it will go a long way before the end of 3rd quarter. 3rd quarter is July, August, September. You know, we are about to enter the 3rd quarter. So I hope that can go a long way in the 3rd quarter of this year, though. All right. So thank you once again. Thank you. So we'll discuss, yeah. So you can leave the meeting. It has come to an end. Yes, it has come to an end. So we'll discuss. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. God bless you.
Amen.